Warning! The following video contains spoilers for Asura's Wrath. If you'd rather not have major parts of the plot ruined, then you may want to reconsider watching this video, at least for now.
Yeah, this game is pretty much all awesome moments and hype, so having those things spoiled for you, not super fun.
Asura's Wrath, a game by CyberConnect 2 and Capcom, is often described as an interactive anime with all of its over-the-top action and frequent switching between third-person action and quick-time events, a core element of the game's positive critical reception.
Asura's Wrath has also been praised for its unique art direction. When asked about this, producer Kazuhiro Tsuchiya stated that the aesthetic of Asura's Wrath was primarily influenced by mixing sci-fi with Hindu and Buddhist mythology, especially when it comes to the characters.
While this can apply to any character in the game, from the Goma to the 8 Guardian Generals, it's especially noticeable with the game's main character, Asura, whose very name ties together the game's intended aesthetic, having been taken from a race of beings present in both Hinduism and numerous branches of Buddhism.
The game took large amounts of inspiration from both South and East Asian religions, so it makes you kind of wonder, how accurate is Asura to the beings that he's named after? My name is Todd from Rated S Games.
And I'm the Kitsune Hawk, and today we'll be taking a look at the protagonist of Asura's Wrath to see how he compares to his mythological counterparts.
So get out your pencils, trivia enthusiasts, because this is character development. To begin our comparison of Asura and Asura's Wrath to the Asura in Hinduism and Buddhism, let's talk about how each religion portrays these beings, starting chronologically first with Hinduism.
In Hinduism, the Asura are portrayed as a race of beings that embody the vices of humanity, such as anger, pride, and envy. In the divine order, the Asura rank above humanity but below the Devas, the gods and goddesses of Hinduism.
In the lore of Asura's Wrath, humans that have the ability to control mantra energy, including Asura himself, are referred to as demigods and are placed above humanity, which is similar to the divine rank of the Asura in Hinduism.
This means that the main villain, Chakravartin, would then be the equivalent to the Devas in the world of Asura's Wrath, meaning that like the Asura of Hinduism, the demigods of Asura's Wrath are not the highest ranked beings.
The Asura are constantly at war with the Devas, often envying their higher rank and even interrupting humans' attempts at praising the Devas. In the world of Asura's Wrath, this is similar to Asura's battles with the other Guardian Generals and, eventually, his duel with Chakravartin.
Despite the belief that the Asura are said to embody human vices, they're not always seen as inherently evil, and the Devas aren't always completely good either. Asura's Wrath shows this quite well with Asura's personality. While he's capable of destruction on a near-godly scale, as well as driven by his anger and desire for vengeance, Asura also has a code of honor, not wanting to harm the innocent.
As for how Buddhism portrays the Asura, it varies by branch and school of thought. Generally, the Asura are viewed as a race of beings similar to Hindu beliefs, except that instead of being placed above humans, Asura in Buddhism are considered one of the 4 unhappy reincarnations, alongside animals, preta, and souls trapped in Naraku. As
one of the 4 unhappy reincarnations, the Asura are most strongly associated with those who lived their previous life consumed by pride or wrath, just as Asura's mantra affinity is wrath, something that, the title of the game reaffirms.
Other forms of Buddhism believe that the Asura can be born into the bodies of animals, humans, ghosts, or heavenly entities. According to this belief, Asura born as humans often express angry and/or prideful personalities. This goes back to the demigods of Asura's Wrath. Without his control over mantra energy, Asura is still a human being, though also one with a short fuse.
Asura and Buddhism show further similarities to their Hindu counterparts, such as finding enjoyment in fighting, though not specifically against the gods. This would better fit Asura's battles against the Goma and Guardian Generals, whom Asura fights for a majority of the game.
While the Asura of Buddhism don't have the same rivalry with the gods that their Hindu counterparts have, they're described as having a strong dislike of being controlled, supervised, or put below authority. In Asura's Wrath, we see this reflected in one of Asura's main personality traits. He hates those who put themselves above others, especially if it's at the expense of the innocent.
And it wouldn't be too much of a surprise that Asura's appearance is another way he reflects his Hindu and Buddhist inspirations.
In both Hinduism and Buddhism, one of the most common depictions of the Asura shows them as humanoid beings with 6 arms, multiple faces, and bright red skin. Asura's appearance follows most of this common description, as well as the two-armed variants seen in Southeast Asian architecture.
Asura's skin has a slight red tint to it, and most of his mantra-powered forms allow him to fight with 6 arms, but the multiple faces seem to be absent from his design, and in his standard form, he bears more resemblance to the two-armed Asura seen in Southeast Asian architecture, such as that of the Khmer Empire of modern-day Cambodia.
Asura's Wrath became something of a cult hit, in spite of lackluster sales, thanks to its overall cinematic style and emphasis on Hindu and Buddhist theology.
Asura's Wrath has characters that have more indirect ties to both of these religions, such as Augus or Deus, as well as characters whose inspiration is much more direct, such as Chakravartin, Yasha, and, of course, Asura.
Befitting his name, Asura shows many similarities to the warrior beings of Hindu and Buddhist faiths, bringing together traits from both religions' viewpoints. While the two religions see the Asura in different ways, including how they relate to humanity and the gods, Asura's Wrath shows a way that elements from both can be combined to make a unified interpretation. This has been character development. Thanks a lot for watching, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm a huge fan, personally, of Asura's Wrath. I think that it does a lot of really cool things with cinematic gameplay and game design, but the character design is just so much fun and so cool to look at and think about, so thank you for checking this out. So if you want to watch more episodes of character development, check out this episode on S. Shaw from Hyperdimension Neptunia on the right annotation. And while mostly I kind of just been working for Peanut Butter Gamer lately, a really long time ago when I first got started with Rated S Games, when it was called Rated S for Sandwich, I did a video on Asura's Wrath. So it's old and probably not good, but hey, you know, if you're here, you might as well watch that one too. And if you do, thanks a lot. And elsewise, thanks for coming. We'll see you guys later. So get out your pencils, trivia enthusiasts, because this is character development. Unless you don't use a pencil, because, I don't think I have used a pencil to, write notes in, years. So...